Throughout history, I think it is accurate to say education has been a contested field of human endeavour, no more and perhaps no less than in today's society. Technology also is an equally contested field in contemporary society, and as technology develops, so too does the positive and the critical discourse of its application into so many areas of our lives. Little wonder then that the integration of various technologies into many areas of education is also contested. The effective and indeed worthwhile integration of various technologies into education must be careful, thoughtful, and always grounded in appropriate pedagogy and aligned with anticipated course and lesson outcomes. On a more philosophical note, this quote from John Dewey might frame best consideration of the rationales for the integration of technology into contemporary classrooms. It certainly captures my thinking on the matter. Hello, Dr. Matthew Pictionary here, back with you. The following part of the portfolio documents 3 best practiced examples of my integration of technology into my teaching practice. I include discussion of the rationales for the integration and list the lesson learning outcomes also. So sit back and hopefully enjoy this discussion of these 3 best practice, to my mind at least, examples of how technology integrated into the classroom can enhance, facilitate, and perhaps even transform. So, who can see a cow sitting in the car? This lesson focused on misplaced modifying elements in sentences and sought to have students understand the issue, identify the problem parts of sample sentences, and then fix the sentences. Lesson learning outcomes and the rationales for the educational technology integration into this particular lesson. So, the technologies I used were mainly designed to help facilitate the students' learning. To a degree, the AI image generator transformed the outputs from the students' group work, and I think reinforced indeed better the intended outcomes than would a wholly written task response. Telegram was used almost for instantaneous communication, and the active cloud-based Word document allowed students to quickly share their work, get feedback, both images and texts, both with their classmates and with me.
Okay, the second best practice example, the spiders of spoon. Well, this was a very interesting application of technology into my lesson, and I think it worked very successfully. In this set of lessons, a wide range of technologies were used to facilitate, augment, and even transform the teaching and learning. It really did turn out to be a great set of lessons, and even though late in a busy, intensive semester, the students took to the project with enthusiasm. I have little doubt that the technological enhancement of these processes of learning and teaching contributed greatly to the success
of this project. I hope you agree with me. In this lesson, I was especially interested in how a more situated learning approach would work with the students, culturally and geographically contextualizing their learning. Pleasingly, a number of students chose this task for reflection in their learning engagement portfolio. Some sign of success, I believe. So, Telegram to communicate, Google Maps to contextualize, AI to create. Once the designs were completed, it was important, very important, to return to the specific lesson learning outcomes, persuasive language techniques, font forms and puns. So it wasn't just about having fun with AI. The previous video says it all in my opinion. Active, productive and enjoyable learning, all successfully facilitated and enhanced using a range of different technologies. It's always time for Chopin, I believe. Okay, on to the final best practice example of educational technology integration into my teaching. And this was around a project, a class project, and the topic was from plastics to power, examining, addressing Cambodia's energy needs in the 21st century, looking at ways to both reduce plastic pollution waste in Cambodia and also to generate energy resources. I think it's a great example of task-based learning and also research-based learning. Several different technologies were employed, and again, the technology clearly facilitated, made more efficient, and to a degree even transformed the teaching and learning. Ever thought what Chopin sounded like at double playback speed? Not as nice, really. Okay, well, in this lesson it was sort of technology to the max. At least 7 different technologies employed, perhaps even more. 8, yes. And It was a challenge to integrate them all successfully, but given it was a project task, then the technologies could be calibrated and introduced gradually, thereby avoiding what I'm always very conscious about, and that's cognitive overload, technology overload, Chopin overload. We started with Canvas groups, and via student-led Telegram activity, students placed themselves next into groups. Next, a flipped classroom activity with a PowerPoint, followed up in class with a short YouTube video to contextualize the topic. An active shared doc link was distributed, again via Telegram, and we discussed each part of the project proposal and the writing styles before assigning the different parts of the proposal to different groups. Then came research via Google Scholar and group presentations, students mostly using Canva. Finally, all parts were collated and groups were assigned a segment of a sway to complete as the final proposal document. I am a robot, I am a robot. Maybe I'm not a robot after all. Alright, well that brings us to the end of this e-portfolio of best practiced examples from my recent teaching, certainly. And I've included as well to accompany to develop detail around various aspects of what I've been discussing here, a full document that really investigates in a lot of detail with reflection these best practice examples further. So to return to John Dewey, effectively, productively integrating technology into education certainly presents an array of challenges, not just for teachers, but sometimes also for students. And that's good, in my opinion. Challenges are good. Thank you very much.